Welcome to the Education and Sports Sector Review Workshop 2021. This review is a transition from the sector orientation to the program-based orientation and budgeting. Please walk with us as we share with you in this sector. The education and sports sector is considered the largest sector in the country. Indeed, almost every family is a stakeholder in education. The sector is currently charged with about 15 million learners in all our institutions, starting from pre-primary all through up to university. These are housed in approximately 65,000 schools and institutions, and they have 555,000 teachers and lecturers taking care of them. The mandate of the education and sports sector is to transform our country from peasantry into modern and prosperous Uganda, which is in keeping with our National Vision 2040. Indeed, the sector has a vision that ties with it, and the vision is that we should produce quality and equitable education, training, and sports for all. Our focus as a sector is for all children in this country, whether they are natives or those who come to seek refuge with us. Our education sector aims at providing quality and equitable access to all learners of all ages, but it also looks at the efficiency and the effectiveness with which work is done so that we get the right products that will work with us in the transformation process. We start with pre-primary education. The sector considers pre-primary education as very critical. Children are like birds in a garden, and they should be carefully and lovingly nurtured, as they are the future of the nation and the citizens of today and tomorrow. Primary education gives us the largest subsector in the entire sector. Primary education has approximately 10.7 million learners in all our schools, and the government of Uganda, through the Ministry of Education, is committed to ensure that all school-going age children access primary education. This has been done through the mass education under UPE, but also the opening of space for private providers to support in reaching out to learners that are not able at the moment access government schools. In that regard, the government of Uganda is committed to see that there is a primary school per parish across the country to reduce the distances that children learn, to ensure equitable access for all.
And really we are privileged that the government has at least tried to look through all the communities in the country, and it has helped us with a 4-classroom block which came through the government of Uganda under the Ministry of Education. We have been struggling with the big number in the class, but at least now we have extra classrooms that our learners can sit comfortably.
Isomero lino lyawangalire nabi imyaka mingi ndaje imyaka gyose limalireho nasinasomeraho kali nebuzi bose zanada babana bangi babite mu grade ndayi bombe kabizinde bishaka bombe kazitoye bakutera zitankaze gamezi byose zana biriho abana basoma bulayi bana bafuyitawaza bulayi.
Primary education runs for 7 years, and I'm glad to mention that in spite of COVID-19, our primary leaving examination results posted for 2020 were good results. So we are making progress in primary education, which is the foundation of all learning as children go up the ladders. The children who transit from primary education can be accommodated in secondary education, in skills training education, and other avenues that are available in our education system. Secondary education is a very critical stage of our education system. It takes in children between 13 and 18 and this is the rapidly growing age of our children, and so forms the center of our education system and guides them towards what they do as career for the future. And so the government of Uganda, through the Ministry of Education and Sports, puts a lot of emphasis and focus on secondary education. Opportunity to increase access for secondary education has been realized through the government program of at least one secondary school per sub-county across the country. Although we have not been able yet to reach all sub-counties, I'm glad to mention that in the year ending, 100 new established or constructed schools were built across the country under the UGIFT program. And these are going to allow many more learners who are not able to access secondary education to now be able to attend the technical, vocational, and education training, normally referred to as TVET. As you may be aware, Uganda has been implementing a 10-year strategic plan of skilling Ugandans. And so if we are to get all our industries and factories that will develop our country, the skills training becomes extremely critical. Against this background, the Cabinet of the Republic of Uganda approved the TVET policy in 2019. This policy is going to help Ugandans to have all kinds of skilling and training at various levels. In fact, under the Ministry of Education and Sports, all skills acquired, whether through formal, informal, or non-formal training, is recognized and it's accredited, it is certified. So anyone who has skills now can be known and can be put to use as we continue to progressively cause our country to grow and develop.
I have undergone training as a hairdresser, just like the DIT mission is to promote employable skills. What I have gained mostly from DIT is that extra training. Besides the profession that you went to university to attain, they do impart hands-on skills that no one is going to steal that skill away from you. It's from the head, and you've been trained to excel in that.
Since I joined DIT, they have added me some good skills, and I am a chief instructor of the big business wing, big business incubation center of DIT under Ministry of Education and Sports, and I'm grateful for the opportunity they trained me. I acquired level 3 Baker in UHTTI Ginger, level 2 Ulika and Tebe. So I'm really grateful for Ministry of Education and DIT.
This skills development is very critical for us, for both male and female. In the past, jobs like mechanical engineering and civil were looked at as male trainings and jobs. But currently, the number of girls and female accessing skills training is increasing, and we have several more now, engineering students who are female and others in several other skills training. This is a good effort, and this is something that we are committed to continue to improve. For this to be realistic, the government of Uganda has constructed and improved a lot of our skills training institutions in Uganda, and these are scattered across the country to ensure that access is available for all those who want to train in skills. And you don't have to be from O A level. You can actually come out after your university and still train in a skill and be able to apply your skills in life. For all this to happen, we need a teacher. The teacher training in Uganda is one of those most critical training areas that we look at. There is no nation better than its education system, and no education system better than its teachers. So the quality of teachers is extremely critical for us as a sector. The sector has continually improved the training facilities for our teacher trainees in the pre-teacher training. For example, over the last few years, all the 5 national teachers' colleges of Kabale, Mubende, Kalilo, Unyama, and Muni have been expanded and rehabilitated so that our teachers come out with competencies and values and attitudes that will improve the learning outcome.
My name is Kauka Ivan. I'm a student of biology chemistry. here in NTC Kaliro. I've been here since 2019. In the beginning, when we came here, life was not really good. We found like it was only one dormitory around. That was Mandela Hall. It was really some old structure, as you know. There were no decors, there were no beds. We had no solar by then. The electricity was on and off, and reading would be hard at night. So at least with the new structures we have now, life is really okay. We can also compete with people, other guys in Chambogo University, Makerere University, because the solar we have now, the new structures, the solar, the buildings, the new dormitories, Nyerere, Kenyatta, there is the girls' wing. They are really fabulous and they are good structures. The solar is functional. We are able to read at night. And that has really improved our way of life here. With the background I've got now at NTC Cairo, I think I'm now at a better position to compete outside there in the world with my fellows from Makerere University, Chambogo University. I feel I can also do what they can do, or even more better. My ambition is to be one of the best teachers and basically become one of the enable examiners.
Higher education has also not been left out. Our universities have increased, the intakes have increased, and also the learning environment, especially in the government universities, has also improved tremendously. We have fantastic infrastructure in all our universities that came from the recent ADB-supported construction. We have learning spaces. We have everything that would help a university undergraduate not only develop self-esteem, but also prepare for the world of work with confidence and stamina. Our education sector, as I mentioned at the beginning, is holistic in nature. And so it takes care of the learners considered normal, but also learners with special learning needs. Under this, the school in Imbali for the deaf has been not only renovated and expanded, but now they can also do skills training and other important areas of education. So we have this as our focus, to have at least a secondary school for special needs in each of the regions to take care of our special needs learners. And we have a full-fledged department that supports our learners in that way. In the same vein, we need our learners to be guided on the careers they can do, and so the Department of Guidance and Counseling continuously produces materials, trains, and supports schools to ensure that learners know what to do and how to do it. The education sector is part of the fourth industrial revolution, and so it has actually embraced ICT. This has been very, very critical during this COVID-19, and it will continue. We now have in the offing the e-learning agenda strategy that is being developed. We also have the ICT policy in education that is being developed. However, we already have some subsystems that are working. We have the integrated inspection system, which will soon be rolled out to all local governments. We have the TELA, which is the Teacher Effectiveness and Learner Achievement System, where schools will be having the basic administration of attendance and teacher tasks checked through telephones that are based on every public school. We have several other systems like the teacher registration system. You no longer need to carry files now around. It can all be done on Teams, and several other systems. So we are progressing. We are glad that our universities have developed a number of innovations in ICT, and we shall definitely have them integrated into our teaching and learning process so that our learners moving forward, even when we have a crisis like of COVID-19, will not have to lose out on learning. We have an exciting other area, and that is the growth of sports and physical education. The Department of Physical Education, working together with the rest of the ministry, has continued to support our talented members of society in Uganda. For example, Uganda has now progressively improved on our international competition levels. For example, in 2020, you remember that Tokyo 2020, 4 of our athletes got us medals, 2 gold, 1 silver, and 1 bronze. and this is continuing. We are committed to identify talents of learners right from primary throughout and have them supported so that their talents can be useful not only to them but the entire community and the entire nation.
Teriet Primary School has already been constructed by the Ministry of Education and Sports. Teriet Secondary School will be a sports school, center of excellence, where athletes will be produced from while doing academic studies.
As a sector, we've been struggling with COVID-19 in the last 2 years, but we had a clear plan, the COVID-19 response plan, which focused on continuity of learning. It also focused on preparedness for reopening, which we are very busy preparing for now, but also training our institutional leaders to develop resilience in case of emergencies. I can say with confidence that we shall march out of COVID-19 lockdown, not only as schools, but we shall thrive as an education sector. So I want to invite all of you as our stakeholders, those who are here physically and those who are watching us virtually, that we need you to come during this workshop, contribute ideas, contribute suggestions, and work with us as stakeholders, because indeed, education is a joint responsibility. And as we struggle to thrive as a sector, together we shall win. For God and my country.